Woodworking can be a lot of fun. It can also be pretty monotonous at times. 15 drawers to make. There's 5 pieces per drawer. So that's a lot of parts. So what I'm doing here is I've got a domino mortises in the end of all these parts. My setup to make this as easy and as fast and as accurate as it can possibly be, because I just kind of want to get through this step and, get on to a more fun step, which is, putting these things together. First thing that I always do is I want economy of motion. I don't want to have to be walking all over the shop as I do this operation. So I set up in this little corner right here to where I don't have to take any steps to keep this operation going. So the first thing that I did is I set up this stop block, and I can move this forward and back depending on the size of the part that I need to cut. So as you can see right here, this part just hangs over the edge of my bench, and that's so I can bring my domino cutter in and put downward pressure on it, and I'm fully secured in my cutting motion. It's really going to help with repeatability and accuracy. I've done it before where I'm trying to hold the board in place with this hand and cut with the other, and my part's moving around on me. Maybe it's tipping off the edge of the table, and that usually happens when I'm in a hurry and I don't want to get a proper setup. Problem is when you have when you have a lot of parts to do, and parts are moving around on you, there's going to be mistakes. You're going to have accuracy issues. So it always pays, like every time, just to take the time and get a proper setup. The second thing that I did is material positioning. So this is the one I'm working on, and these are the ones that I still have to do. So when I finish this one, all I have to do is turn around and place it right behind me on this pile. And then move this one over, and I'm ready to go. And I've not taken but one step to do this. So in this case, this one's a little shorter, so I'll move my stop. And see, now I'm in position, ready to go. It took hardly no time at all to do that. When I'm done, I have a spot I can set the domino cutter. Just turn around, put it in the finished stack, go to the next one. Another thing that really helps with efficiency, especially when you're using, something like a domino cutter or a biscuit cutter, is to, whenever possible, use the index feature on these tools so that you don't have to mark and measure every cut. I know on at least this side, all I have to do is slide it over to the index pin, and I don't have to measure this side. The other side, I need a domino mortise a little closer to the edge. So in this case, I'm not able to use the index pin on the machine, but what I can do is I can use the scale. There's a scale on the machine itself. And for example, on this side of the part, I know when I'm on the short side, I can just line it up to the 20 millimeter mark on each one of these. And now I don't have to measure and mark all these parts. And I know that might sound obvious, but after 20 years of doing this, that just kind of occurred to me recently that, hey, there's a scale right on here. I don't have to measure and mark all these. So maybe that's useful to someone else too. If you just take a little time, plan ahead, think out your setup, think of ways that you can avoid too much moving around, get your materials closer, get your setup secure, have a place to set your tool down, have a place to put parts that you've already done. Just try to be as efficient as possible. It's going to make a big difference, especially when you have a lot of parts to do. Parts of the project that, maybe aren't the most fun. The better setup you have, the faster it's going to go and the better results that you're going to get. I kind of like to look at it like golf. Like the object of golf, of course, is get the ball in the cup. But the real objective of golf is to do that with the least amount of effort. The guy with the least amount of strokes wins. It's really helpful for me to look at woodworking the same way. This is how I make my living. So the faster I can do things, more accurately I can do things, the more money I'm going to make. But even if you're just doing it for a hobby, everyone wants to get the best results in the least amount of time. There's something really satisfying about that. So anyway, I hope this little tip helps someone. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.